Okay, so the magnet is glued, and we're ready to flip this around and try it out and see how it works. So we got our measurement center to center onto there. Let's just kind of lay it in place, and there it is. It went right on. It didn't fly out of my hand. It's firm. It's a nice fit, and I can pull it away without too much trouble. So that's good. Shouldn't pull a magnet off. Shouldn't have to fight putting it on and off. So that piece went really well. So this piece here where the window is, I don't have any magnets to go on whatsoever, so I'll probably have to either put something on the window frame, maybe a nail that a magnet can stick to, or we'll figure something out down the road. Maybe I'll just rely on like these spacers that I made here. I'm going to make them all around. But what we got now is the long 8-foot piece, and what I did was I just laid it face down exactly where it needs to be, and I measured using a ruler, squaring it up, and I measured 5.5 up from the bottom, which will put me in this area again. And I've got my centers, and I'll put a magnet on that crosshair again, and this time maybe I'll even put a magnet on the front like I was gonna I talked about last night, and just put it in place and see how it will work, or I'll just leave it a full day again on its face, and we'll see how it goes. So I'm going to turn the camera off. I'm going to glue the magnets on, and we'll be back. Okay, so the panels are up. The magnets worked great. Next, I'm going to take my for sale sign plastic, and I'm going to use the same kind of glue that you use for PVC pipe. And this particular cement here is good for PVC, ABS, CPVC. I've already tried it on this piece here, and it works good. So I'm going to be making some more I-beam pieces like I've used here to go in these joints. And that'll tie it all together nice, and paint that blue to match. And we will call the background a wrap, except for whatever I do for painting clouds and landscape and stuff. But that's a whole nother ordeal down the road. So I'm going to cut this off for now, and I'll be back when I've got those spacers in place. Okay, so all the backboards are up with the exception of the two windows. I did install one of the styrene spacers in that long window, as I've already done here. This one's painted blue. That one is still white with a slight red tinge from the red paint that was on the for sale sign, so that'll be painted blue. Now, everywhere between a window, there is one of those closet-made uprights, that shelf bracket system, and so the magnet's been sticking to that. Now, on these windows, there's nothing. And originally I thought I was going to maybe drill a screw into the window frame for the magnet to hook on, and I didn't really want to put holes in the window frame. Got thinking about it, and what I came up with, let me remove this, it's just leaning. Okay, what I came up with was, if you can't hardly see, they are one of them binder clips. It's a big, large binder clip that is clipped right onto the window frame, and I measured it 5 inches down from the top of the sheet, and I'll bring this sheet over. I transferred those measurements directly to my sheet here, and so the center of the clip is 5 inches down from the top, 1 inch from the edge in. Same over here, 5 down, 3 inches in. And so I will put my magnet, here's the stack of them, I'll glue the magnet onto that crosshair, and the magnet will then stick to that clip. Again, let me see if I can get one off easy. They're tricky, man, they're tricky. Let me set the camera here for a second, see if I can do it with 2 hands. I know I'm off camera doing this, but I don't have the tripod, and so I'm trying to... Wow, really making a mess of this video. Anyway, let me just take the whole stack and show you. So when that's glued onto the back, it gets right close to this, and bang, see, it's gonna hold that right to the window, and I can still remove it. So that's what I do now. I will turn the camera off. I'll glue up these 2 windows, and then all the pieces will be adhered. Then I just got to go around and finish with my styrene spacer pieces to do the seams. Alright, so I'm going to cut the camera off, and we'll be back. Okay, so there's my little dab of glue from my E6000. And I'll just take and embed this in there. Watch how this kind of squirts out. Oop. There we go. Just a little bit so it's not off the edge. There. That's in. That one's in. And let that dry overnight, and then we'll snap them in place. I'll do the same thing with that window there, and we'll bring you up to date tomorrow morning. Okay. Okay, so we're back, and here it is. We're in the next morning here. We got the magnets are all glued nice. So let's take these pieces over to the layout and see how it's going to go. We've got our clips onto the wall. See if I can do this with one hand. Now when I get this sort of in place, it's going to snap right in. There it is. It's there. It's right in place. Oh, let me take the other one over. To this side, put this one in place. There we go. There it is. So the only thing I have to do now is make my spacers. My spacers between my backboards. This one here, I'll get another coat of paint on that. You can still see a little bit of red through it, and then I'll have to paint and hint clouds on it. This part of the video will make a wrap. Alrighty, we'll be back with the finished spacers, and then that'll be the end of this video. Okay, so here's the dilemma. 3 times this spacer broke loose under the pressure of the 2 panels, the length of these, wanting to bow away from each other in the middle. 3 times the glue on the PVC styrene, it broke loose. So I fixed it with a piece of duct tape or masking tape going right over the top, around the back, holding it in place, and now it seems to be holding. These corners showed to be very difficult to try to make the angles and glue them and look good, so I decided to do a couple layers of masking tape on these corners. And while that raw edge looks pretty hideous, once I get it painted blue, I may even come back with a little bit of some plaster and just fill in those cracks a little bit. Now this spacer here seems to be holding quite fine. Apparently it's lined up nice, there's not a lot of pressure on it. So as you can see, just because these are not on the same plane, we'll say, coming into one another, they should be, but they're not exactly perfect in length, and so one overrides the other a little bit, as you can see from the shadow. So I decided to do a couple layers of masking tape on it. I've got it wrapped right over the edge so it holds. I'll paint it, and then maybe I'll plaster into that seam a little, and if I ever have to take these apart, I'll just simply take a razor knife and cut down through the crack. And this one looks the worst, actually, maybe because the sun is right on it coming through the window at this angle. I'll cut down through that crack with a razor knife and repair it when it goes back up. So I'm going to paint these blue, and we'll see if they look much better. Okay, so I've come back now and I've painted these seams blue, and I'm not 100% happy with the appearance from a distance. You know, some of them look okay, and when you get in the light, you know, and you start to see some of the imperfections in the edge, probably what I will do is I'll come back with either, I don't know, either some wallboard compound or some sculpt and mold or something, and I'll just kind of blend this, feather it in a little bit, repaint it, just to take away some of that hard raw edge. I'm going to paint some clouds next. Then when I start painting backgrounds and stuff, and of course I can always put some trees and different scenery and stuff to block some of this stuff. The main thing I wanted to do was make these things removable. Now, like right here, now you look at that edge down there. Of course the lighting is not the best, but you know, it doesn't look too bad. So I guess you know, it's going to be a little bit of a compromise here and there, but I do have the backboards up. So let me cut this off now, and we'll pick up with the clouds.